I am really enjoying Assassin's Creed 3, so much so that I wanted to make a video and talk about it on this channel now that I'm hours into the game. So let's not waste any time, let's get straight into the video. Now the first part about this game that I wanted to talk about is the gameplay. The gameplay in Assassin's Creed 3 is so fun and it's so good and it's really enjoyable. Starting off with the assassinations, in Assassin's Creed 3 you've got the double hidden blade, so the hidden blade on both sides, and it is so enjoyable to do assassinations with this, being able to take out 2 enemies at once or sometimes even 3 enemies depending on your execution. But it's so fun just parkouring around and assassinating these enemies, especially with the double hidden blade. It is so good. You can also just unsheath them, anywhere, even if you're not in combat, which it's not a big deal, but these small details in the game do matter, and it's really nice that you can just show them off and walk around with your hidden blade, popping out, and it's really cool. Another thing with the gameplay that really surprised me and impressed me was the snow physics. In Assassin's Creed 3, throughout the game, the more you progress throughout the story, the seasons tend to change, which is another thing that I really like about the game. It makes the game feel fresh and new every now and then when you're playing, but the snow physics in the game are actually really good. I wasn't expecting any physics or details with Assassin's Creed 3, especially since the game released in 2012, but the snow physics are actually pretty decent, especially for the time that the game released in, as well as another few details with the parkour. When you're parkouring on trees, when you land on a few branches, they will wobble and wiggle around, a few of them, which was a really nice detail that they really didn't have to add, but they did, which just makes the game feel a lot more better and alive. Another thing that I really liked about this game, but at first wasn't too sure about, was the combat. Now the combat in Assassin's Creed 3 is so good. There's so many different variations when you're fighting, especially with the different weapons, if you're using a hidden blade or a tomahawk, so many different variations and takedowns and combos. It is so good and really enjoyable. At first, I wasn't too sure about the controls because they were pretty new to me, because I was playing the RPG Assassin's Creed games at first, then moved on to the classics, but man, the combat in this game is just really enjoyable. This is how combat should have always been in Assassin's Creed, in my opinion, because I'm really enjoying it, and I feel like this is how an assassin would actually fight. The combat is just really amazing and enjoyable. Now that we've finished off with the gameplay, I want to talk a bit about the story, but not get too much into the story because, again, I'm hours into the game and I haven't actually beat the game or completed it yet, just sharing my, impressions and thoughts. But the story so far in the game is actually really good, and I like the way that it actually started with us playing as Haytham in the beginning, a Templar. It was really interesting, and the plot is just really good so far right now, and it's very interesting. A few people didn't really like the fact that you only got to play as Connor later in the game, I'm talking about 3.5 hours later in the game. But personally for me, I actually found it quite interesting and unique that at the start of the game you play as Haytham, which in the game, is Connor's dad, and he is a Templar, and it's really nice. He gets to work with a bunch of different people, such as Charles Lee, who is the antagonist of the game, and then, the more hours you get into it, you eventually play as Connor. You do some missions as Haytham with Connor's mother in the game, and it's really nice, especially when you start playing as Connor, and then you see him and his dad working together in some of the missions later in the game, and you get to see that dynamic because they are father and son, but they are on opposing sides. Haytham is a Templar and Connor is an assassin, who's a part of the Brotherhood, and that dynamic is just so good, and it's executed even better in my opinion because you actually played as Haytham. You actually get to understand his goals and stuff, because you played as the guy for the first 3.5 hours in the game, so it's a lot more, in my opinion, to connect to Connor that way, since you played as his dad in the game. It is what I really appreciate, and I really enjoyed it. I also really enjoyed the missions in Assassin's Creed 3. It is just so enjoyable and they're pretty fun as well. With Connor, you know, in the story, Connor is trying to take down the Templars, but it's also nice to see his involvement in the American Revolution. And as in the game, we do see a few, you know, historical figures throughout the game, such as George Washington. And it's really nice to see Connor interact with them and see his involvement in the war, even though his main goal is trying to take down the Templars. So I really liked how they did all of that and just made it work together. In my opinion, it was just really nice, and the missions are very enjoyable. One of my favorite missions was when I was working with Haytham, you know, Connor, father and son, and we're just parkouring around the city. That was just really fun, and it was one of my favorite missions, at least right now in the game. So that's another thing that I just wanted to add because I really liked it. This was also the first Assassin's Creed game to feature naval combat, which, if you know, a year later they would release Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and it was really nice to see how they were testing the waters with Assassin's Creed 3, you know, with naval combat and the ships and all that, until they eventually made, you know, the game its own thing with Black Flag, you know, it's surrounding, you know, naval combat, pirates and all that stuff. So it was really nice to see. And now, moving on to the most important part about this game. If you guys have been watching the channel for a while, you guys know when it comes to Assassin's Creed games, or more specifically Ubisoft games, I love the parkour. Like, it is just the most important part, even more important than the story, even more important than the, you know, gameplay and all that. The parkour for me comes number one. Obviously, I was joking, but I just really enjoy the parkour, especially in Assassin's Creed 3. One of the best parts, you know, this game's parkour is just so good, and it's really enjoyable. Coming from a guy who was playing the RPG games such as Assassin's Creed Origins, Valhalla, and all that stuff, the parkour in this game was such a breath of fresh air, and it was just really enjoyable. Leaping, you know, parkouring around. They introduced some new parkour things as well, being able to, like, go through windows. It's so good. Like, this is what Assassin's Creed parkour is like, and I'm so glad that I got to experience it with this game. It is just so enjoyable moving around the city, and you can tell the world was built specifically for parkour because, you know, in the older Assassin's Creed games, that's how you would normally traversal. But with this Assassin's Creed game, Assassin's Creed 3, there was an open world that was huge, you know, out there in the wild and stuff, and they still managed to, you know, build the world for, you know, traversal with parkour, such as with the trees, different branches. And I really like that they did that. You know, if you want to just go out, go hunting, and you can just parkour in the trees. But if you want to stay in the city such as New York, you know, you can just parkour on the rooftops. Super enjoyable, man. Like, I just really loved it. And yeah, those are the things that I really loved about Assassin's Creed 3. I am just really enjoying the game so far, as well as some other things such as social stealth, you know, the double hidden blades. Like, this Assassin's Creed game is just so enjoyable. And yeah, man, I can't wait to play other Assassin's Creed games in the future, but so far really enjoying this one. Can't wait to beat the game and finish it. I've just really been enjoying this one. It's so good and it's so fun, and I just love the game. But make sure to share your thoughts in the comment section below. What you think about Assassin's Creed 3, if you've played the game, if you enjoyed it, if you hated it. Make sure to share your thoughts in the comment section below. I know it's been a while since I posted. It's been like almost 2 weeks, which is just crazy, but I wanted to say thank you to each and every one of you guys who subscribed. We recently got to 200 subscribers, and it is just amazing, guys. Thank you so much. It was only like 3 or 4 months ago when we just hit 100 subscribers, so from that to 200 is just absolutely amazing. Again, sorry it's been a while since I posted. You know, things happen these days, but hey, if I'm not posting videos, I'm definitely on the community in the channel. You know, I post polls and all that sort of stuff, you know, questions for you guys, what you guys think about games. So if I'm not posting a video, I'll definitely be over there posting some stuff for you guys, because, you know, stuff happens. But anyways, I am back, and hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm Dale Meister, and I will see you guys next time.